obviously a lights out performance by our team. Completely different than last week when we couldn't make a shot. We made most of them today. It was just one of those days where balls seemed to fall in. Obviously, Brevin shot it great from three. Got a good mix with PJ. I thought Chase was aggressive getting to the basket, and we just played extremely well. And so it was a lot of fun for us today. Got a lot of respect for Kevin and his team and their program. Kevin's done a really good job this year. They're having an unbelievable season. He's coaching the fire out of those guys, and they've been playing about as well as anybody in our league. So for us to come here and get a win, means a lot to us, and we're very proud of that. Questions?
Right, you guys were able to keep, DJ Burns ended up getting his points, but you guys were able to keep him on a rhythm early. You had more success against him defensively than a lot of teams have. What was kind of your plan coming in, and did you adjust it at all as things went on?
He's a great player, and does he have great touch. The underrated skill is his dribbling. I think for a guy that size to have that kind of ball control, it's not as easy as it looks to do that, to back guys down and to make all those plays. And, he got into foul trouble in game one, so we didn't have to deal with it as much. We're lucky we have three guys that play the center spot. So we have some fouls to give. We have bodies to throw at them. We tried to wear him down that way. I don't know if it worked. It was kind of just a decision. We trapped him one time, he kicked it out, and they scored. And so we kind of just stopped doing it. We thought about it, but it's just one of those things where we were playing well and we had a lead, and so it was just kind of different because of that.
Can you remember a game where you delivered a knockout blow like you guys did before the first TV timeout tonight? I mean, that was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, we've had a couple over the years, but it's hard on the road, right? On the road is different, and I think what was maybe as more impressive was to keep it. It's not getting a lead, it's keeping a lead. Keeping a lead is sometimes more challenging, especially on the road in another team's building. If they get string a couple baskets together, then the building's going to be on fire, and you got to deal with a lot. And I thought our guys did a nice job. We handled the presses really well. I thought we had pretty good poise in the half court. I thought we took good shots. And we were fortunate we made some, right? Like we made some shots that opened things up a little bit, and we squirreled some layups in around the basket, and just, you have a couple games a year where things just really go very well for you, and you have a couple games a year sometimes where it's just, my goodness, we're open and we can't make one. And a little bit that happened to us a little bit at Louisville, where we had a lot of shots that, we're 4 for 24 from three, and we outscore them by 20 in the paint, but we lose. It was just a challenging day in some ways, and I didn't think we played terrible then, but it's shooting, and today we played great, but some of that is shooting. And we're coming off a day where we shot it really well against Syracuse at home, so I'm sure our guys had some confidence.
This team was 15-1 at home prior to this game. How important was that? You talked about it at the beginning, to be able to get off to such a hot start, to kind of take something.
Yeah, it was. Getting off to a good start, and it's the interesting thing with our team is, I bet 95% of the games this year we've had the lead after the first media. This older group has gotten off to good starts. Now, we haven't been able to hold them in some games, but that hasn't been a problem. And we have a little bit of a younger bench, and so, sometimes we've had a couple of nights where our younger bench hasn't been able to either sustain or play as well. I thought some of my guys did well. I thought Dylan Hunter was good today, playing his 16 minutes. Ben was good in his 8 minutes. RJ was really good in his 17 minutes. His athleticism and physicality really helped. So that's critical in these games, that you make a couple subs and you don't have big letdowns. And against a quality opponent like NC State, that's as important as anything.
What did you feel your team did right defensively to limit the effectiveness of Terquavion Smith and Jarkel Joyner?
Good offense is part of it, right? You go on the road and you have turnovers and you take bad shots, and that can be a problem. I thought, the fact that we made a bunch of shots just really helps you get your defense set and, kind of be organized and that's not easy to do. Beyond that, I thought we competed on the glass. I think we got a lot. First half, felt like we got most of the first misses. There was a couple in the second half they got, and they sometimes scored on us. And we got a few easy ones where we got some rebounds, and because they commit 3 or 4 to the glass, we got a couple runouts. So I thought those were important things too.
I think you guys had 32 or 34 points between layups and dunks. What was it about the game plan where you're able to get to your spots?
Some of that is the lead, right? You get the lead, and now Kevin's team has to extend defense a little more and open the court a little more, and you become a little more aggressive. So sometimes, you can read more into all this, right, than it really was. And that's part of basketball too. Like, we all know it. Like, sometimes teams just make threes, and some of them you're guarded. We made some hard shots today too. I mean, it wasn't like, and then when you get a lead and then teams spread out, it's just like Syracuse zone the other night. We made a bunch of threes at the beginning, got the lead. Now they got to spread out a little bit more, extend the defense. Now you got a chance to get it inside, do some different things, and that's part of the way the basketball game changes based on score. It's not always a coach's game plan to do that, but the game changes and your plan has to change. So I just thought we were very efficient today.
Some of the coaches who have come through, they have been making jokes about the net.
Yeah.
What do you think this will do for the net ranking, and have you kind of figured out what you need to do? Because it seems like no one seems to know.
Play really good basketball and win more games. And, we've had a couple losses against some teams that are in the quad 4 rankings or whatnot, and some of them were early. Louisville's not a quad 4 team. I mean, we played Louisville in front of 16,000 people when they're honoring their 2013 national championship team. I mean, the building was on fire, and it was not a quad 4 game. Now, it is in theory, but they sure didn't play like many quad 4 teams, I'll tell you that. So there's some challenges to it. There's a lot of efficiency numbers involved that I think occasionally that can mislead some things. I hate it for our league because there's a lot of teams. I think our top 8 or 9 teams play with any league in the country. Obviously, the Big Ten's getting a lot of love right now. We won the challenge against them. I don't think there's much difference. Maybe Purdue's different than a lot of our teams, but beyond that, I don't know that there is. It's some of it's matchups, right? It's matchups and the way teams play, but it's hard. It's a little bit frustrating, and you have a couple injuries like we did. Chase didn't play 3 games. We won 2 of them. Then Brevin's out for 2 games. We lost a game in each of those, and then we lose a game where we play pretty well against Miami, who's playing great. And all of a sudden we've lost 3 out of 5 or whatever it is, 3 out of 4, and it looks like our teams, but we're kind of putting it back together now, and we've played great the last 2 games. We're kind of back healthy, and we've been together, and PJ's much different now than he was in November and December. Even the first time we played State in December, PJ was a non-factor. I mean, he was just not in, he was okay health, but conditioning and a lot of things. So there's just so many challenging things about it that are difficult. It's difficult for the committee. I get it. We're a team that is probably we're on the bubble, obviously. So this was a big win for us. Kevin and I said something to each other about it the other day, or just right before the game, because 18-19, I think it was, they were 33 in the net, and we were 35, and neither one of us made it. And I know our thing was like we didn't have quad 1 wins or whatever it was. We had maybe 1, and we were like 1-9 against quad 1. But we didn't have the bad losses, but we only had 1 quad win, so 35 in the net wasn't enough, and 33 in the net wasn't enough. It's crazy. Now this year, I don't know, this is like our 4th quad 1 win. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to schedule as many of those games as we would like. Some of the teams in the league haven't been there aren't as many quad 1s there. And a couple games we tried to schedule, you can't predict it all. But now we've got a couple of the bad losses. So now that's going to be our bugaboo this year. Right now it is. And it's like, you almost feel like they're just looking for some reason not to put you in. You don't have enough quad 1, you got too many quad 3s, 4s, whatever it is. And I get it, it's really hard, and a lot of us are very similar. But that's a little bit frustrating as a coach.
Anybody on Zoom have anything for Coach?
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor. Obviously, a great offensive performance, but Smith was 3 of 15 from the field. Joyner was 4 of 14. How much do you think your defense affected their backcourt?
I mean, we had a good day today, right? And some of it was because we scored and we were able to get our defense set. And I'm sure they missed some shots that they normally make. That happens too. You press a little bit because you're down, shoot some. But yeah, I mean, our guys competed. I thought our guys really fought. I thought, we did some good things in ball screen coverage. Yeah, our guys played exceptionally well today, and State had a tough night.
Brad, it's Matt. Bremen wasn't necessarily a high-profile transfer. There wasn't a ton of competition for him. How important has his play been to go out and get 20 points in the first half tonight, or this afternoon? Just how important has this play been tonight, really all year?
It's been really good. He's an older player that has no fear, right? And that's what we were looking for, is just another older guy that if we went into environments like today, NC State, where there's a great crowd, that he's just going to play. He doesn't change. And so yes, he's played well for us. He does a lot of different things for our team. He can handle it some. He can initiate some offense. He can shoot it. He can drive it a little bit. I think he's improved defensively with us. And he plays with poise and confidence. And I think that helps our team, especially when you play in the road and play difficult teams like NC State.
And do you feel like you guys have proven that when you play well, you can play with anyone in the country?
Yeah. Again, I do think our team, when we're playing well, when we're clicking, we're a lot to handle. Our guys have played some really good basketball. This was great because it was a big-time road win. Maybe it's our third quad one road win. And I think that speaks to being able to play away from home. Sometimes that's important, right? Like, did they beat anybody? Who can they beat on the road? Well, beating NC State's pretty daggone good. Beating Pitt, pretty good on the road. So, yes, I do think that. Again, I'm very proud of our guys.
Brad, how big was it to close the first half out with that 7-0 run there last 9 seconds?
Yeah, it was. We talked about it at that media timeout that, we need to finish the half the right way. We've had a couple halves we haven't always finished, or we have had a half that we started in the second couple times we haven't started quite as well, and we did both tonight. We finished a half and started the second half well.
Hey Brad, it's Davis. PJ, I guess third game with 20 points in his last 4. Is some of that a product of him just getting back to being fully healthy and sort of being in shape maybe he was for most of last year?
Yeah, absolutely. Confidence, just conditioning, confidence, and just rhythm, right? I mean, it's hard when you're not playing as well. And trusting that the guy had 2 major surgeries off season. So his knee and his foot. And it's like, it's hard for your mind to get back with very little practice and start a season and trust that. When you're as big as those guys are, it's just different. I mean, he and DJ Burns are baby elephants. I mean, those dudes are big boys that, they're carrying a lot of weight. The physicality of the game, it's hard on them when your feet, knees, all those kinds of things. It takes a while for you to trust all of that. Even if you have a couple of good games, playing through some adversity, playing through some things, PJ's obviously playing his best basketball right now.
Any more questions for
Brad,
Coach?
Yep.
Can I do one more?
Sure.
I know you talked about it a little bit, but how hard is it to keep them from making a run and to keep that lead some of the way up?
Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard. They're a dynamic team. I mean, they are, again, I think Kevin's done an unbelievable job this year. He's, and Clemson and NC State both vastly improved. Went and got some good players out of the portals, coaching the fire out of them, using them the right way, guys that fit his system. He's done a dynamite job, and they got a terrific team, and well on their way to the tournament. So I'm happy for him for that. I've been where he is. It's hard every year. It's not easy to have a team as doing as well as his has. And last year they struggled a little bit, had a lot of difficult injuries, and now they've really bounced back. And he's obviously a very good coach and got him playing great.
Hey Brad, real fast, PJ, I saw wearing a back brace there. Is he okay there? What's the situation with that?
Yeah, he fell on his back in the game tonight. Sore, but I think he'll be okay as far as I know.